Hi guys, welcome to my video. Today I will be doing a book haul on books that I've recently either been gifted or books that I've bought over the previous couple months. I hope you enjoy, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to turn the notification bell on. Right, let's get straight into the video. First off, I will be starting off with books I've been gifted. For example, like books I've been given for Christmas that I've been given like the previous month, if that makes sense. First, I'm going to start with the books my mum got me for Christmas. First, she got me The Sun Is Also a Star by Nicola Yoon. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing it right. But anyway, these books, by the way, is all books that I've asked for. So, otherwise, Mum might have got them wrong. But anyway, I thought I wanted this book for a while. I've also wanted another book by her, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. But anyway, I'd read the back of it. The story of a girl, a boy, and the universe. Natasha. I'm a girl who believes in science and facts, not fate, not destiny, or dreams that will never come true. I'm definitely not the kind of girl who meets a cute boy on a crowded New York City and falls in love with him. Not when my family is 12 hours away from being deported in Jamaica. Falling in love with him won't be my story. Daniel. I've always been the good son, the good student, living up to my parents' high expectations. Never the poet or the dreamer, but when I see her, I forget all about that. Something about Natasha makes me think that fate has something much more extraordinary in store for both of us. The universe. Every moment in our lives has brought us to this single moment. A million futures lie before us. Which one will come true? So yeah, this is one of the books that I got for Christmas off my mum, and I've wanted it for a while. And then the next book I asked for, which my mum got me, is this book, Us Three by Ruth James, because I've read one more book by her called Never Greener, and I really enjoyed it. I literally flung through the whole way through the book. I was reading like 150 to 200 pages a day, and I literally finished it within like 2 or 3 days of reading it. Bearing in mind, I think I had like college and work as well when I was reading that book, and I still managed to finish it in 2 to 3 days. So I've got high hopes for this book. I haven't heard much about it. And I'd read the inside of it. When they are 8 years old, best friends Lana, Judith and Catherine swear on oath on a curly-whirly wrapper that they'll always be there for each other. Us three, come what may. For years they keep their promise. The invisible triangle connecting them remains balanced, equilateral, never two against one until betrayal and tragedy strike, and the childhood bond that they once shared is broken. But when a life-changing event brings the three women back together, they have the chance to rekindle the age-old friendship. The question is whether they want to, or even whether they can. So yeah, that's the next book I got bought for Christmas. The next book I got is Ugly Love, a survivor's story of narcissistic abuse, because I want to like branch into more like non-fiction books, but I just didn't know where to start. I've read 2 autobiographies, the Shannon Rose autobiographies, and I read The Prison Doctor, which I found was really good. But I didn't know like what autobiographies to go for, but I wanted like some non-fiction. And I came across this on Amazon. All these books, by the way, are from Amazon. And I came across this and I thought this is something a bit different. And it's obviously non-fiction. I'd read the back. You thought you had found your soulmate, but discovered your partner is Jekyll and Hyde. Your fantasy life just evolved into a nightmare, and your other half tells you it's because you can't get it right. You feel like no one will understand, and your partner says that's the case. You are crazy and destined to be a failure. Would you believe it's not you? With this book, you travel through decades of narcissistic abuse with a survivor. You learn about the narcissistic tactics and learn how to recognise psychological abuse. Laura offers solutions and explains how her own journey led to a life of peace and love. Laura Chiranza, I think that's how you pronounce it, I'm not sure, is a survivor of 40 years of narcissistic abuse before becoming an author. Laura was a television news journalist who covered breaking news for CBS, ABC affiliates across the country. Laura is currently an award-winning biotechnology sales representative in Texas and Oklahoma. Laura lives in Dallas, Texas area with her 2 sons and 2 Labradoodles. So yes, that was the next book that I got for Christmas off my mum. Last and final book I got for Christmas off my mum was a book I've wanted for ages, ever since the story was shared through social media, and it's Free Cynthia. My search for redemption in the American prison system, and it's by Cynthia Brown Long. I've wanted to read this for ages because I've been following the whole case and everything for a very long time, and I'd read the inside of it. And just to give you a bit of a warning, it does mention about abuse before, just a warning. At the age of 16, Cynthia Brown, a victim of human trafficking, was arrested for killing a man who picked her up for sex. 2 years later, she was sentenced to life in prison. In these pages, written during the 15 years she was incarcerated, Cynthia shares her most intimate experiences leading up to and after her arrest. Coming-of-age memoir set against the shocking backdrop of life behind bars, Free Cynthia takes you on a spiritual journey as Cynthia struggles to overcome a legacy of family addiction and a lifetime of feeling ostracised and abandoned by society. Born to a teenage alcoholic mother who was also a victim of sex trafficking, Brown reflects on isolation, low self-esteem and sense of alienation that drove her straight to the hands of a predator. Though she attempts to build a positive past and honour the values her beloved adoptive mother taught her, Cynthia succumbs to harmful influences that drives her to a circle of progress and setbacks. After a fateful meeting with a prison educator turned mentor, Cynthia makes a pivotal decision to take classes at Lipscomb University and strive for a better future, even if she's never freed. For the first time ever, Cynthia shares the details of her transformation, including a profound encounter with God and an unlikely romance and an unprecedented outpouring of support from social media advocates and A-list celebrities, which ultimately led to clemency and her release from prison. A rare look of the power of love, forgiveness and self-discovery in the darkest of places. Free Cynthia is a deeply personal portrait of one woman's journey for redemption within the system that had failed her from childhood. So yes, that is the last book my mum got me for Christmas, which I am really excited to read. And then a book that I brought is Jojo Moyes' The 1+1, which I love everything I've read by that's written by Moyes, I've loved. I've read all the Me Before You books. I've read the book about the violin. I can't remember it off the top of my head. and I've read a couple of other ones and I've loved everything about them. And I got this from WHSmith because I went to WHSmith with my dad and my little sister, and this is the book I chose. I was either going to buy Jennifer Neven's new book Breathless, because I love another book by her, or this one, but I thought I'd go for this one since I've had a bit of an obsession with Jojo Moyes at the moment. But anyway, I'd read the back. One eternal optimist, Jess Thomas, with 2 jobs and 2 kids, had never enough money, wears flip-flops in hope of spring, and when life knocks her down, she does her best to bounce right back. But there are some challenges even she can't meet on her own, plus one lost stranger. Ed Nichols is a good guy gone bad. He had it all, then one stupid mistake cost him everything. Now he'll do anything to make it right. Equals a chance encounter. Ed doesn't want to save anyone, and Jess doesn't want saving, but could Jess and Ed add up to something better together? And I am so excited to read this. Then going on to these books, which I bought from Poundland, which I am over the moon that Poundland sells books for £1. Anyway, starting off, I've wanted this book for years since Tisha Drew Merry mentioned it on one of her book videos, and it's been in my Amazon wishlist for ages, and I've just never got around to buying it because I forget about that wishlist. And it's The Secret of Crickley Hall by James Herbert. And I'll read the back. The Callie family have had a terrible year. Gabe has brought his wife Eve and daughters Loren and Callie to the peaceful seaside of Hollow Bay in Devon. He can work and Eve and the kids can have some peace and quiet. Perhaps they can try, as a family, to come to terms with what happened to them. Their new house is Crickley Hall, a large house at the bottom of Devil's Cleeve, a massive tree-lined gorge. A river flows past the front of the garden, and it seems like a perfect retreat. Yet, the family discovers that there's something not quite right about this place. It is constantly cold, hushed whimpering noises are heard, and though they shut the cellar door every night, it's always open again in the morning. As the terror mounts, the Callies soon come to regret their decision to move, for the secret of Crickley Hall is beyond all nightmares. So yes, that's the first book that I picked out from Poundland, and I'm so excited to read this, since I haven't read a good horror book. Well, I don't know if horror is the right word, but a good horror book for quite a long time. Next book I found at Poundland, which I was quite shocked to find, is this book. Going back to about me wanting to read more non-fiction books. It's Death Row, The Final Minutes, My Life as an Execution Witness in America's Most Infamous Prison by Michelle Lyons. And then I'll read the inside. In 12 years, Michelle Lyons witnessed nearly 300 executions, first as a reporter, then as a spokesperson for Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Michelle was a frequent visitor at Huntsville Walls Unit, where she recorded, relayed the final moments of death row's inmates' lives before they were put to death by the state. Michelle was in the death chamber as some of the United States' most notorious criminals, including serial killers, child murderers and rapists, spoke their last words on the earth, while a cocktail of lethal drugs surged through their veins. Michelle supported the death penalty before misgivings began to set in as the executions mounted. During her time in the prison system, and together with her dear friend and colleague, Larry Fitzgerald, she came to know, and like some of the condemned men and women she saw die, she began to query the arbitrary nature of death penalty and ask the question, do execution make victims of all of us? An incredible power and unique look at the complex story of capital punishment is told by whose lives has been shaped by it. Death Row, The Final Minutes, is an important take on crime and punishment as a fascinating point in America's political history. And yeah, and I just saw at the bottom that this would have been £17 and I got it for £1. So yeah, this is another book that of course I'll be excited for, but I think I'll be excited for all these books I've got. But yeah, another book that I got from Poundland, which I was quite shocked to see in there. Another book I got is quite a bit different. It's Finding Colin Firth by Mia March, which seems a bit different compared to the rest of the books I got. I thought it would be, like, looking at it, I thought it would be quite a light, airy read, if that makes sense. And on the back it says, only an idiot would attempt to make a pie, a special ordered chocolate, caramel cream and more pie, while watching Pride and Prejudice. Had she put in the vanilla? What about the salt? Damn Colin Firth and his pond-soaked white shirt. At home in Boothbay Harbour, Maine, Veronica Russo loves to lose herself in Colin Firth movies and bake pies filled with good thoughts. Pies that bring people happiness, hope and even love. But Veronica is not so in touch with her own feelings and has deeply memories of one heartbreaking summer when she was just 16. In Boston, college graduate Bay Crane receives an earth-shattering letter. She learns that she was adopted at birth and that her biological mother lives in Boothbay. But is Bay brave enough to find out more? Gemma Hendricks has come to Boothbay not to find something but to run away. She's accidentally pregnant, suddenly unemployed and under pressure from her husband to give up on her career aspirations and settle down far from her beloved New York City. Gemma would rather watch Bridget Jones' Diary with a bowl of popcorn than face the truth, but she can't hide away from forever. When Colin Firth comes to town to shoot a new movie, the lives of these three women become closely entwined. They might be looking out for their Mr. Darcy at every turn, but they also find a new and important friendship along the way. So yeah, and here it says, one summer, three friends and Mr. Darcy. And I've never really watched Pride and Prejudice. I've seen like clips of it. It's my mum's favourite, one of her favourite films and one of her favourite books. And I keep on seeing things about Pride and Prejudice, the book. And I'm debating whether to try it out. I think maybe one day I might buy it to read because it does intrigue me. But yeah, this is another book I found in Poundland and bought. Another bargain I got from Poundland is this book. And this book I've seen so many talk about. And I'm in a book group on Facebook. And like everyone on there spoke about this book. And I just thought, I didn't want it at first, like when I first heard of it, because I thought, you know, I don't tend to like to buy books that's been like spoke about a lot and that it's the craze to buy. And then I saw it in Poundland, and it's Wild Like Me by Louise Pentland. And on the back it says, meet Robin Wilde. You make a friend for life and she'll take you on a journey you'll never forget. And then on the inside it says, does anyone else out there feel like me? Robin Wilde is an awesome single mum. She's great at her job, her best friend Lacey and bonkers Auntie Kath love her, and little Layla to the moon and back. From the outside everything looks just fine. But Robin has a secret. Behind the mask she carefully applies every day. Things sometimes feel grey and lonely. She struggles to fit in with the school mum crew. Online dating is despair-inducing, and how can she give her little girl the very best when, honestly, some days it's hard to find a clean pair of knickers. After 4 years and 2 months and 24 days of single mum-dom, Robin realises it's time to get out there and change her life. Little courage and creativity go a long way, and exciting new opportunities are soon on the horizon. Maybe a man, or maybe a chance in a lifetime. Will Robin seize the opportunities she creates for herself, and what surprises does her life have in store for her? So yeah, that's another bargain I got from Poundland, which I'm excited to read. I think it would be quite a light humorous read. So yes, another book I'm excited for. The last and final book that I found in Poundland and brought is called Ultima, and unfortunately I didn't realise it was part of a trilogy, and it's the last of the trilogy until my little sister kindly notified me that it's the last of a trilogy. So of course I will be buying the other 2 books first before I read this one. But this one, on the back it says, first there were Maestra, then there was Domina, now there is Ultima. They started it, she'll finish it. And it's by L.S. Hilton. And on the inside it says, glamorous international art dealer Elizabeth Teerlink knows a thing or two about fakes. After all, she is one herself. Her real identity, Judith Rashley, is buried under a layer of lies, not to mention the corpse of anyone foolish enough to get in her way. But now, caught in the murderous crossfire between a Russian mafia boss and a corrupt Italian police detective, Judith is forced to create an even more daring work of art, a fake masterpiece she must take to the world-famous auction house where she used to be a lowly assistant and sell for £150 million. But exposing her new identity, Spotlight carries a deadly risk. Like a beautiful painting stripped of its layers of varnish, something altogether different could be revealed, a truth about her past even Judith might find shocking. So yeah, this is the last book that I found in Poundland for £1. But yeah, I will be buying the other 2 books in this trilogy, so I can then eventually read it. But yeah, I am excited for it. These are all the books in the book that was in the book haul that I bought in the past months. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to turn your notification bells on. Comment any other videos that you'd like me to do. Bye, see you next week.